at the Changshin Gymnasium in Seoul, South Korea for the WBA Jr. Featherweight Championship, Odie World. Michael, they just introduced Tony Perez.
Yes, Tony Perez, the veteran from New York City. He's refereeing this fight, and with Tony, you can look for a disciplinarian referee. He takes control and doesn't allow the fighters to get out of control.
Of course, he's in South Korea now, and you never know about the crowd getting out of control.
Well, the crowd is one thing, but that's one of the keys with Perez. He maintains order within the ring. Outside the ring, that's not his province.
I think we should point out that it's the champion, Soo Hwan of Korea, against Ricardo Cardona of Colombia. Easy to tell them apart. Hong's trunks say Hong on them. We're in round one. Stephen Bass and Michael Marley, boxing columnists for the New York Post. We're at the Changshin Gymnasium, Seoul, South Korea. Soo Hwan, the WBA Jr. Featherweight Champion in red with his title on the line, against Ricardo Cardona of Colombia in the white.
You know, Hwan won the bantamweight title, defeating Arnold Taylor of South Africa, but stopped twice by the great Alfonso Zamora of Mexico.
Well, there's no sin in being stopped by Zamora.
No, Zamora, one of the two Z-men from Mexico. The other one, of course, the great Carlos Zarate.
Okay, and we're in round one. It's Ricardo Cardona in the white, Soo Hwan in the red. And we've got a bit of a feeling out round here, and Hong at a decided disadvantage, height and reach-wise.
He certainly is, and if the style of Cardona looks familiar to fight fans, it should be. He's managed by Ramiro Machado. His stablemate is the great Antonio Kid Pambele Cervantes, and he's got that kind of style. He's got that kind of a body, first of all, and he's got the hands high, the long jab, and keeping the right hand cocked right by the chin, reminiscent of the great Kid Pambele.
Okay, Cardona, who supposedly has a good jab. There's a look at it right there. And comes with the overhand right cross behind the jab. Hong here has to get inside on Cardona to do anything.
Oh, definitely. You know, Cardona is a hot and cold kind of a fighter, and the hard thing really to figure, he's got 4 losses on his record, Steve. He's lost to Leslie Mario, Jose Quijan, Oscar Arenal, and I think the 4th, yes, Ernesto Baba Jimenez, who we know. But those other 3 fighters, not really world-class fighters, and he lost to all 3. So depends on what Cardona shows up.
Okay, Ricardo Cardona pumping that jab into Hong's face right there. Soo Hwan just eating up left jabs and not making very many moves to get inside. He's a very powerfully built guy, is Soo Hwan.
Well, you know, he's got the typical Korean style. Most of the Korean fighters fight this way, although usually they're more aggressive than Hwan has shown so far. But I think you're right. I think it's just a feel-out round. Hwan wants to see how Cardona will attack.
Well, Cardona's attacking behind his left jab. Hong double-pumped a couple of jabs that were about 3 feet short. And there he is moving inside and getting tagged with a right-left. End of the round. And so we're at the end of round 1. And Hong is in his corner. Doesn't look too much the worse for wear in the first round.
Well, I think near the end of the round, Steve, we saw what Hwan must do to be effective. He's going to try and get over that long left hand with his right hand, come over the top and try and crack Cardona on the chin. However, Cardona leans back, if you notice. He's got that sort of a style, a little bit of an Ali type thing, where he leans. The head is way back from the fist and the rest of the body, so he may be an elusive target in that respect.
Well, Soo Hwan on his stool as we get ready for round number 2. We're in round number 2, WBA Jr. Featherweight Championship of the world. Soo Hwan, the champion of Seoul, South Korea in the red. Title on the line against the number 1 contender, Ricardo Cardona in the white from Colombia. Stephen Bass and Michael Marley of the New York Post. Michael, how'd you score the first round? By the way, we're scheduled for 15.
Scheduled for the 15 rounds, the true championship distance. I gave the first round to Cardona for doing just what we see now. He is moving in with behind the left hand, not following it up with the right, but just purely on jabs. I gave him the first round 10-9.
Okay, and Hong is moving backward here, and that jab looks very effective. This is not the Soo Hwan that we've come to know. He likes to get in there and slug it out. He's a very powerful guy. Hector Carrasquilla had him on the deck 4 times in round 3, got up and knocked the guy out.
Well, he definitely has to get inside, and again, he's not showing the usual aggression of a Korean boxer. And if you hear this crowd in Seoul start to hoot and holler, they may be jeering their countrymen.
Okay, Hong on the receiving end of a lot of jabs. There's another one. And Cardona just pumps them out there one at a time, lays that jab on Hong's face, and if Hong doesn't make some moves here pretty soon, he could get busted up.
Well, I don't think either man has landed a real powerful punch yet. That flicking jab, of course, by Cardona, but he missed, we saw a few seconds ago, a wild right uppercut. I think they're going to have to get in close before. Now, there's the right uppercut by Cardona, and that seemed to score. A little bit of authority on that. He may be able to pick Hwang apart if Hwang is very laid back. I don't get it.
Okay, Cardona, good left over the ear, and another left jab on the left eye. He's got pinpoint accuracy with that jab. Every one of those jabs is finding Hong's eyes and forehead.
Well, he's starting to sharpshoot. You're absolutely right. Nice left hook by Cardona. He throws his punches with great accuracy.
Okay, Cardona here in round number 2, scheduled for 15. A man who's ranked number 1 by the WBA, and a lot of people want to know why, and I guess we're getting a look at it now. That he does get off first. He keeps Hong away from him, and that jab has got some power behind it.
Certainly does, and I tell you, it's a very difficult thing for a fighter to come into another man's home country, but Cardona's doing it, and, he seems to have tuned out the crowd, and he's fighting as though he were at home.
Okay, we've got a big crowd on hand, around 6,000. Cardona going to the body and then left to the head, and then stands straight up and pumps that jab into Hong's face at the bell. That's the end of round 2. And I have to think that Ricardo Cardona, so far, is doing just about everything he wants to do.
Well, if this were baseball, Steve, I think we'd say the visitors after 2 innings are way ahead. Not way ahead, close. Both rounds close, but Cardona's taking the rounds, and I don't understand Hwang's strategy.
I love the drums. Listen to the drums. They got the drummers in here.
Well, that's an old traditional Korean song. Done by the Soul Brothers at ringside. I don't know where the Soul Sisters are, but I'd like to.
You mean that's not the South Korean drum and bugle and fife corps? No bagpipes?
I don't think it's the CYO. But really, Cardona is in control so far.
We're in round number 3, WBA Jr. Featherweight title on the line. Soo Hwan of Korea in the red. Says Hong right on his pants. He's the champ, and he's got it on the line against Ricardo Cardona, number 1 challenger from Colombia in the white. And Cardona's had it all his own way so far. Stephen Bass, Michael Marley, scheduled for 15. We've gone 2, we're in 3.
Well, let's not give Cardona all the credit. Let's give the champion one some discredit. He's been incredibly lethargic.
Well, he's not, he should be trying to move in, so he takes a jab or 2 on the head and steps inside and goes to the body of the head, but he's not doing it. He's just backing up.
You've read my alleged mind. I'm wondering why Hwan is not working on the body. He should be pounding away, bending, pounding away with both fists to that midsection because it's an open and inviting target, and he certainly could get underneath that jab. He's seems to have no strategy, Steve, at this point. I don't know what Hwang, he'll be so long, Hwang, if he keeps this up.
Okay, Ricardo Cardona pumps in the jab, scores with a right over the ear. Hong tries to come inside and stays outside, and Cardona ties him up the minute he gets in.
Well, you know, that was an opportunity to go to the body, you know, and he is bending now, Hwang, but he's got to deliver combinations to the body and slow Cardona down. So far, is not doing so.
Well, most of Hong's punches are short here in round number 3. Cardona snaps that jab out again, bing, right off his eye. He's taking a lot of left jabs right on that left eye. There's another one. You can see it. Cardona really is going for his eye.
Well, Cardona could be doing more damage if he doubled up on the jab.
Well, there he just threw a nice right cross to the body and a left hook to the head off of that jab again, but the jab just keeps coming like a little piston.
Well, Hwang just threw a right hand miss, didn't follow up. He's got to get busy. I don't know what really he thinks he's doing here. He can out-jab Cardona, not with that height and reach differential. And now I think Cardona's looking to drop the right hand in behind the left.
Okay, we're in round number 3, and Soo Hwan Hong scores with a good right hand. But Cardona followed up with a right. And there's that jab right back in Hong's face and moving him backward again. Hong is just moving backward to avoid the jabs, and he's totally off balance.
Well, when Hwang lets go with that right hand, he may pay the price in the form of a Cardona left hook coming right over.
Cardona working his jab and a few combinations up. There's another good solid left jab, and another one. This is a jabby fight. Jab, jab, jab by Ricardo Cardona.
Well, I have it 30-27. In other words, all three of the first 3 rounds, I've given a 10-9 edge to Cardona. He certainly won all those rounds, even though our scorecard is very unofficial. But I think now Hwan has got another problem. Now he may fight to protect the cut eye. And if he does that, I don't see him going on the offensive.
For those just joining us, Ricardo Cardona has been using his educated left jab on Hong Soo Hwan's face. He's been popping him, and it's all been going in the left eye, and Hong already has a cut in the left eye. Blood was on the towel between the rounds.
Well, you know, the more I watch Cardona, the more I'm reminded of his stablemate, the great Antonio Kid Pombelli Cervantes. I think the difference is Cardona doesn't have the power that Cervantes has. What?
Whoa, good, solid right hand, and Hong went down.
Well, there, I deserve that for remarking that he has no power. And referee Tony Perez giving the count.
Fans don't like it.
They don't like it. I'd like to see a replay on that. It looked to me like a partial slip, but counted as a knockdown.
Okay, Ricardo Cardona scoring with the left jab again, setting everything up, came underneath with a right, looked like a right uppercut, and dropped Hong on the seat of his pants. But we know it takes a lot to keep him down. Check with Hector Carrasquilla.
Oh, of course. In their fight, Hwan was down 4 times in 1 round, came back to win in the very next round. But the point
By
is...
a knockout.
By a knockout. The point is, though, that cut has been reopened now. You can see the blood, a mask of blood on the champion's face, and Cardona is sharpshooting at that mask of blood. This is getting to be a very gory situation.
And we're only in round 4. This is round 4, and already Cardona has opened a big gash in the eyelid of the champion, Hong Soo Hwan. And now, Hong is he's not carrying his left glove up very high to protect it either.
Well, he's got to do something offensively, and I think now the blood has to be obscuring his vision. I think he can see it. His movements are a little stilted now.
Yeah, he's starting to turn his head, too. Now his left glove is coming up high, and Cardona goes to the body with a good right hand. But right back to the jab. Boom, and now another right hand over the top by Cardona at the bell. In the red, title on the line against Ricardo Cardona of Colombia in the white with some red on his trunks. Stephen Bass and Michael Marley of the New York Post. And Michael, how do you have it scored so far?
Well, the champion has red on his trunks, red on his gloves, and plenty of red on his face. It looks like that cut left eye is opened up already.
Yep, Hong is in some pretty bad trouble here early. The red on the pants, the trunks of Ricardo Cardona, belongs to Hong Soo Hwan. He's got 2 cuts in the left eye, as we saw between rounds. One is on the outside of the left eye in the lid. The other is on the inside over the brow. He's got another cut alongside his nose by the right eye.
Well, his face looks like somebody took a hatchet to it. No doubt about it. I've got it a shutout so far, all 4 rounds to Cardona. Now, watching close, they could bang heads. That could be another problem. Could open up another cut.
Cardona keeps popping that jab out there, right on that left eye, and Hong is still staying at long range. You'd think now he'd move in because he's got nothing to lose at this point, but he's just out there getting popped by that jab, and that jab has authority.
Well, you know, the home crowd here in Seoul seems stunned. They're not used to Hwan fighting so laid back, so unaggressively. But at this point now, he may be, as we noted last round, having trouble seeing his opponent. That blood is dripping down his face.
Well, there's a good shot of it. Well, not a good shot. We got a shot of it. But it's dripping down his face. The eyelid is obviously dripping into his eye.
Well, we got a brief glimpse, and unfortunately for Hwan, I think that's all he's getting of Cardona's hands and body. I think he is not seeing the opponent as he normally would.
Well, he just threw 2 punches, a right and a left, both wild, as if he really couldn't see. He's like a gored bull right now, being picked apart by the picadors.
Well, he can't keep his title fighting protectively, fighting in a defensive posture, but, you know, when your vision is obscured, it's pretty tough to mount an attack.
Okay, Cardona still moving forward behind that jab. He's been doing this for 4.5 rounds, and Hong obviously has sucked up quite a few punches. He's bleeding from 2 cuts on his left eye, 1 in the eyelid, very dangerous, and still trying to throw jabs at Ricardo Cardona. Cardona comes underneath with an uppercut. Hong scored a right, another left. Boom, every time that left scores, it moves Hong's head back.
He's also bleeding. Hwan is also bleeding from a cut on the bridge on the right side, of the nose.
That's the end of round number 6. We're scheduled for 15. WBA Jr. Featherweight Champion Hong Soo Hwan in the red against Ricardo Cardona, whose pants are now white and red with Hong's blood. Stephen Bass and Michael Marley of the New York Post. Michael, what's happening?
Well, as I say, still a shutout on my unofficial card for the challenger, Cardona. He is just picking the champion apart, and I think he'll open up that cut again if he hasn't already, because that left hand has pinpoint accuracy.
And it's 2 cuts, 1 in the left eyelid of Hong and 1 close to the bridge of the nose over the left eyebrow. Also a cut along the inside of his nose on the right side, but that doesn't seem too dangerous. It's the left eyelid that's dangerous, and the one in the eyebrow. The blood is trickling out and running right into Hong's eye. He can't see. The left hand of Cardona is popping it open every single time it lands with authority, and Hong still is not going inside. He's still content to stay at long distance and get murdered.
Well, I don't know if he's content, Steve. I don't think he really can get himself set, because I think that he is having vision problems.
Well, he's not making even any kind of rush to get inside. I mean, what's he got to lose at this point where he can take a jab and just walk in and start throwing leather?
Well, Cardona's not just throwing one jab. You watch him now. He's pop, pop, pop with that left hand, and that's been his formula for success from the beginning.
There, Hong actually timed one, and as it was coming back, he stepped in with a right and left. But he hasn't done enough of it, and this is not going to get to 15 rounds if he keeps it up.
Well, there was a wild left hook Hwan threw, and that missed by a country mile. But I think he's looking to take Cardona out, no secret. But I don't think he's going to be able to. Not with those cuts and the mask of blood. There you see the left eye, underneath the left eye, all marked up, very bloody.
Well, Hong is getting popped pretty good right here. A lot of jabs. The jab's still coming. There's two nice solid jabs. Every time Hong seems to get set, Cardona lets him have the jab and then goes. Now he threw a right to the body, came back with a left jab right on the eye.
Well, you watch. You see the real crack, sort of like a breakfast cereal. You get pop, snap, crackle. He really gets a nice snap on the end of that left jab, Cardona.
Kind of like a bullwhip action.
Really is. Bullwhip, buggy whip, whatever you want to call it. He cracks it in there, and it's got a real snap at the end of the punch. And that's what's busting him open.
That was Kid Pambele.
That's his stablemate, the great Kid Pambele Cervantes. And I'm sure Pambele is very proud of his stablemate so far.
7. Hong Soo Hwan in the red, WBA Jr. Featherweight Champion, and going against Ricardo Cardona in the white with the red on his pants. That red is Hong's blood. Left jabs have opened up 2 cuts in Hong's left eye. We're scheduled for 15. I don't know, what are the possibilities of getting a Korean fighter stopped on cuts in Korea?
Well, you know, I think the referee, the problem Tony Perez has, when he goes over it just before the start of every round, the cut looks like it is, you know, pretty well taken care of. The problem is, again, Cardona comes out and starts sharpshooting just as he is now.
And the blood is running down the side of Hong's face. Left jab by Cardona. Cardona with another left jab. Not as much power in the second one. Cardona now stalking Hong around the ring. Goes with a right over the ear. Stepping inside a right-left by Cardona. I don't think Hong can see him. There's another left jab on the eye. Another left jab on the eye. Another left jab on the eye. Boom, boom, boom. Like little cannon shots.
Well, this is no way for the champion to keep his title. He's fighting to protect the left eye. He's fighting completely defensively. And he really, I have it so far, I have it 60-54 through 6 rounds. 6-point edge for the challenger.
Okay, and now Hong steps inside, holds with the left hand, pounds with the right. Throws a wild overhand right, but he can't see. Once that right hand gets past his head, he's blinded.
I was just about to say, Steve, we've seen very little infighting, but now they're doing some of that.
Wild left hand by Hong. And Cardona pops him with the jab again, pops him again. Every time Hong misses a punch, he pays for it with that left jab and a right hand.
Well, if Cardona was a real veteran cutie, he'd be in there cracking with those elbows, too, and moving his head in to open up that cut even further. But he's fought a very clean fight.
Well, we're in round number 7, and Hong is a mess. The left side of his face is a mess. He looks like... He's auditioning for the hamburger in McDonald's.
Well, it's radar-like left jab of Cardona. It's just as stiff now as it was in round 1. He's well-conditioned, and he's honing in with that. There you see it again. Right on target with the left hand.
Every time he scores it to the left eye, there's a spray of blood onto his pants.
Well, those look like white satin trunks. They may be red by the end of the fight. Completely red.
We're scheduled for 15. Hard to believe that a Korean champion will be stopped on cuts in Korea. And
It won't last too long. Once Cardona gets out there and starts honing in with that left hand, he'll open up and we'll have a bloody mess once again.
round number 8. It's Ricardo Cardona of Colombia. And it looks like he's taking away the WBA Jr. Featherweight Championship from Hong Soo Hwan of South Korea. We're in South Korea. Stephen Bass, Michael Marley, the New York Post, scheduled for 15. Hong is in danger here.
Well, I sound like a broken record, but after 7 rounds, I have Cardona. Nice right to the body by Cardona. I've got Cardona ahead by 7 points.
Hong just threw a left-right that was about a foot short. And I think he's about a foot short here. He should be stepping inside. He's still, I won't say content, he's still staying outside. Right at Ricardo Cardona's his strength. This is strength. His left jab followed by the right cross. It's busted up Hong's face already. His left eye is a mess. He was down on his seat of his pants in the end of round 4.
He was down, but not really hurt. I think now, from that point on, Hwan is really just trying to protect the left side of his face, and that's a difficult thing to do when you're squinting out of one eye. The right eye, I think, is his only real solid vision. The left eye he is having very much trouble with.
Well, the cut, there's two cuts, one over the eyebrow close to the nose, one in the eyelid in the corner of the left eye. Blood running down from both of them right into the eye. There's no way that he can see, and now it's all starting to swell up as well, and it's running in rivulets.
Well, you can see it. Hwan kind of leans over with the right hand, trying to tentatively, see that, just catching air with the left hand and the right hand because he really can't see his target.
Bending down, and Cardona waits for him to come back up, and boop, right on the eye again. There's another left jab to the eye. Cardona trying to do, or rather Hong trying to do something. I don't know what that was.
Well, I think Hwan is trying to get inside and land a bomb. At this point, it really wouldn't have much effect to attack to the body, but I don't know if he can see Cardona's head, never mind his body.
Cardona using his height and reach and his educated left jab on Soo Hwan. He's way behind on points. The left side of his face is a mess, and still outside, and it's Ricardo Cardona still using his jab, left uppercut.
Well, it's not a question of who's going to win the fight at this point, Steve. Just a question of when they'll stop it.
Or if they'll stop it.
In Korea, that's another good question.
Okay, Cardona stalking Hong around the ring. Hong is now carrying his left glove up around his head. And we're in round number 9, scheduled for 15. WBA Jr. Featherweight Championship. Stephen Bass, Michael Marley. We're not the fighters. Soo Hwan, the champion of Korea, in red. Ricardo Cardona of Colombia, the challenger, in white, with Hong's red blood on his pants. It's been all Hong. It's been all Hong. It's been all Cardona. Hong was on the seat of his pants in round 4. Nothing dangerous, but the dangerous stuff are the cuts in his left eye.
Well, speaking of the seat of the pants, you can look at the challenger. Not only the front of his trunks are covered with the blood of Hwan, but also the back of his trunks are covered now with blood. So you can see that that blood has been flying all about the ring.
Okay, and now Cardona opening up with both hands, left, right, but it's Hong coming inside. Finally coming inside, Michael, and he's doing the job. There he is, going to the body, going to the head.
Well, I think he's going for broke now. He knows it's now or never.
He should have been doing this since round 1.
He should have been doing it before the cuts became such a big factor. But watch out for that right uppercut of Cardona if he gets a little punching room.
Well, but we know that Hong can take some punches. Once again, we come back to Hector Carrasquilla. You can put him down, but it's hard to keep him there. And now he's doing the body job on Ricardo Cardona here in round number 9. A lot of scoring, but he should have been doing this since round 1.
Well, they just exchanged low blows. Hwan just threw 2 in a row, 3 in a row. He's trying to bang anywhere he can now.
And doing a good job of it. And Cardona comes back, left jab on the eye. That's the answer to the question tonight. What is the question? How is Hong going to get beaten? Left jab to the left eye.
Well, you can see the front of Cardona's trunks are much bloodier now than they were at the start of the round. So apparently there was blood flowing pretty freely from the head of Hwan in that corner situation.
Okay, and Hong now out in the middle of the ring again. He should be pressing Cardona on the ropes as he did about a minute ago. But there's that left jab, wild right hand. Another left on the jaw by Hong.
That might be Hwan's best punch of the fight, that left hook, but Cardona's showing no ill effect.
Also, the loss of blood should be tiring Hong.
Well, it should be tiring, should weaken him, has certainly obscured his vision. But he's a lucky champion.
Well, it's obvious here that he's got more guts than brains.
Well, no guts, no glory, the old cliche. No glory so far. He looks like he's losing his title.
Okay, Cardona winging away now, having weathered the Hong storm at the end of the... Well, Tony is calling for the doctor now. he's not going to let the next round start. He's calling for the doctor. He's got blood on his pants.
Well, it's ridiculous that Perez, and he is doing the correct thing, that he has to practically beg the doctor to come up.
Doctor's in the ring. We're looking at a Korean fighter, and he tells Tony, this fight can go on.
Well, you know, the ringside physician calls it, and here we go for round 10.
We're in round number 10. WBA Jr. Featherweight Champion Soo Hwan of Seoul, South Korea, losing his title here to Ricardo Cardona. He's the one in white from Colombia with all of the red blood on his pants. It's all Hong's. Stephen Bass, Michael Marley of the New York Post were scheduled for 15, but any round now could be Hong's last.
Well, I told you that Cardona's trunks would be all red, and on the front they virtually are now, so this fight may end with both fighters wearing red trunks.
Hong has been in trouble with the eye since round 3, when 2 cuts were opened up by that educated left jab of Ricardo Cardona, and there it is, whipping out, bullwhip style.
Well, I think Hwan came here today with the idea of keeping his title, not donating blood, but he has bled excessively from the early rounds on. The left side of his face is just a total mess.
Right, left by Cardona. Cardona with the left jab again. Cardona with another left jab. Hong actually blocked one, Mike.
Well, that's an unusual occurrence, but Hwan at this point really doesn't know what to do. He can't see that well. The left keeps coming in and piercing his defense. You just saw it again. It's a whip-like left hand, and that's what continues to bust him up.
Well, they had the doctor in his corner between rounds, but the doctor's a tough guy. He said Hong can go on. He's tough.
Well, the doctor doesn't feel a thing, but I'm afraid that this may affect the health and the ring future of Hwan. I mean, he is absorbing a brutal beating.
Well, he's been boxing for 12 years. Maybe we're looking at the end of his career here. Whoa, solid right hand sent him back to the ropes.
Excellent body shot by the champion. And I think he's going to go body head now and just try and finish the champion off.
Well, he's going to go for the knockout here, but he's also not going to play it too wild. That jab is still out there, bopping off of that left eye of Hong. There it is again. Left jab, and then right to the body or right over the top. And Hong is just backing up. I think he really does want to quit here, give it up.
Well, it seems pointless for him to continue. He can't do any damage. Yeah, I have it 90-81 through 9 rounds, a shutout for the challenger Cardona, and it's been more of the same with each successive round.
Well, he's protecting his eye. Hong is protecting the eye now, and just backing up. There he is, stepping inside. He could have done a lot more of that in the middle rounds.
Could have done it earlier on when the vision wasn't a problem, but right now he's a one-eyed fighter. There's a wicked right hand dropped in by Cardona.
Right at the bell. Well, I think we'll probably get another look into Soo Hwan Hong Soo Hwan's corner. Ricardo Cardona was standing up in his corner, not taking the stool for a while there. His cornermen practically threw him on it.
Well, there's really no point now. Let's tell it like it is. You know, there's no point in continuing the fight. Hwan is not going to win by knockout. He cannot win by decision, at least if you go by my unofficial scorecard. And I have Cardona dominating from start to finish. We haven't seen the finish yet, but I think we should very soon.
Of course, we do have a Korean official, so the chances are that Hong is ahead on one scorecard.
Well, maybe Perez will make the move here and try and stop this fight, but I guess not right now. Looks like we're going another round.
We're in round number 11. Blood flowing freely from the left eye. 2 cuts. One in the eyelid, one over the eyebrow of Hong Soo Hwan, the WBA Jr. Featherweight Champion. Title on the line against Ricardo Cardona of Colombia. Stephen Bass, Michael Marley, the New York Post. Every round could be Hong's last. He might get knocked out. He was on the deck in round 4, flash knockdown, but he's a tough guy.
Definitely a tough guy, but let's give Cardona credit. He's an accurate boxer, stand-up boxer, beautiful left jab. very compacted movement, and doesn't. He's as fresh as he was at the start of round one.
Well, he hasn't been pressed since round one.
No, he hasn't been pressed, but he also doesn't waste any movement. He moves about the ring very smoothly. Again, reminiscent of his stablemate, Antonio Kid Pambale Cervantes.
Okay, it's Cardona coming forward behind that left jab. He's been moving Hong Soo Hwan back since round one. Hong has made no effort yet to get inside on him, and all those left jabs have pretty much closed his left eye now. His eye is closed and bleeding. He's lost a lot of blood. Of course, Tony Perez is in a bit of a quandary, the referee. He will be taking his life in his hands if he tries to stop it. And, of course, the doctor looked at the eye between rounds 10 and 11 and said, it can go on.
Well, you know, the doctor's not the man between the ropes, the man trying to fight Cardona and trying to hold off that wicked left hand.
Well, Cardona also started out with red gloves. They are now red and slippery.
Well, and his trunks again showing all the blood absorbed, all the blood from the champion, Hwan.
Tony Perez, the referee, has blood on his on his blue shirt.
Good choice of colors by Tony. I'm glad he didn't wear white.
Okay, Hong still sucking up left jabs. He obviously, at this point, cannot see. We're scheduled for 15, but I'm waiting for Tony to stop it at any moment. Wild overhand right by Ricardo Cardona. Cardona missed with a left jab. He actually missed with one, Mike. I think that's the first one he missed since round one.
If anything, I think Cardona's landing harder now with the left hand because Hwan has no head movement, can't get away from it.
Soo Hwan Hong with the right hand caught on the gloves of Ricardo Cardona. He's trying to unload now every time he gets anywhere near close, but Cardona keeps moving him back, hitting him with the left jab, blood running all over the place. Hong retorts with a wild left hand to the left jab. He's totally ineffectual here. They really ought to stop this fight.
No doubt about it. Look at the face of Hwan. That says it all. His body's smeared with blood on his forearms, his chest, his left eye, and I really don't understand why they don't stop it, except for the fact that we're on the champion's home turf.
Okay, we've got the doctor in the ring again. He's over in the corner of Hong Soo Hwan, looking into the corner. He's standing there. He doesn't seem to be doing anything.
Well, the doctor should have stopped it several rounds ago. Let's hope he does the proper thing now.
Okay, we're all just sitting here waiting for the doctor to stop this fight. Hong has two very dangerous cuts in his eyes. I would think he's in danger of losing his vision.
Well, I think Tony Perez, the referee's in the corner now. Apparently he put a word in, but looks like they're going to let Hwan continue.
And the doctor steps out at the last second. We're in round 12. Stephen Bass, Michael Marley, WBA Jr. Featherweight title on the line. Hong Soo Hwan of Korea, totally covered with his own blood. Ricardo Cardona covered with Hong's blood, cuts in the left eye. Hong can't see a thing. Cardona's right back to work. Referee was in there the doctor was in between rounds and let it go. Hong just backing up here.
Well, the doctor's been up in the corner twice, Steve. Both times he should have stopped it the first time, not both times. Should have stopped it at the first opportunity. And I think it's really a shame. It's really a shame what's happening here because Hwan is not going to only pay the price tonight, he is going to pay the price later on.
Okay, Hong Soo Hwan obviously cannot see a thing. Blood running from his eyes since round 3. Cardona still pumping the jab. Hong just backing up here. He can't see a thing. And he's totally defenseless against Ricardo Cardona. The referee pretty much powerless to stop the fight in Seoul, South Korea without having a riot. The doctor refused to stop it. And Hong just backing up. That's it. Hong calls it quits. Well, maybe he does have more brains and guts.
Well, we forgot the people in his corner. Look at that bloody mask on his face. There's a victory dance by the new champion from Colombia, Ricardo Cardona. But I think It took Hwang, no one can question Hwang's courage. Look at him. Look at him. His face speaks for